how to build a dog shelter for your dog, a simple shade area to keep them away from the sun and sudden spring summer downpours. I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of how I did this using some tools I had already and some wood and plywood that I actually used. Firstly, we look at what the situation is at the moment. The old sunshade is falling apart. It's been taking up water, and you'll see Max likes it here. He normally during the day sits in this spot when he's outdoors and we're gardening. He has his own little space to come to, and he can also sit on the roof. And because he is a slightly heavier dog, he has caused the roof to kind of bow in the center. This was a temporary solution just to keep him kind of here when he wants to have a bit of a break outdoors, or when it's too hot he gets a bit of shade. So first we're just having a quick measure up of the location and seeing how much we actually need of wood. So I've got two types of wood here. One is a laminated floorboard type wood, and you can see here over the years, this has been here about 2 years, and he actually just causes him to be relaxed. He sits there and he chills in his spot, and you'll see the wood here is kind of crumbling away, and it's actually been taken up water. So just going to give the location a quick clean up firstly before we begin, just to get rid of any of the old hair and bits and bobs that have been made there. Measure up a couple of brackets, because what we'd want to do is here in this location we're just below one of the windows, so I want to actually lower the roof, so any water that falls, or if it ever rains, the water from the window will just go down the roof and off the structure, the shelter. Again, this is a temporary solution for the daytime during the main sun. As summer comes, it gets very hot. So you'll see I'm using a number of drills just to drill through the bricks here to create an anchor point to put the brackets on. So if you're familiar with anchor points and brackets, you basically make a hole for the same diameter of your plug, and that plug then fits into the wall, and then you will screw into that with your screw. And this is the bracket on the outside which you keep the roof level. So the good thing here is we're putting some extra brackets, because over the years Max has grown, so he's a little bit heavier than he was before, so we want to make sure that he's got sufficient support if he ever sits on the roof, because he likes to sit on the roof sometimes if it's a bit shady in the weather. So you'll see I'm just marking off the points that need to be screwed into the wall, and then creating the actual anchor points. I purposely put this the other way around, so I screwed into the wood below just to create a point where the wood can rest on. And it's a laminated wood which will last quite well. We're not putting anything onto here in terms of insulation or anything, because he's not going to be here in the winter. It's just the main daytime sun that we're going to keep him away from. Just bring a little mini support bracket on the front as a temporary solution. Again, this is not a permanent fixation, it's just something to keep in mind, and also it depends on your measurements and sizing of what you want. You can also create a door in front of this if you wanted to, and put further floors and sides and insulate it and make it to a proper house, but that's not our aim here. Again, these are some of the older woods that we're using just to make sure that it's something that can stay outdoors and won't cause any problems in the winter, because as weather comes past, you want the structure still going to be out here, so we want to use it over a number of years, which would be ideal. So what we can do is, you can see here, if you wanted to create a little door option, you can create that just to have a bit of extra support for the roof. So if he sits on the roof, he's not going to have as much worry, obviously not bowing like he did before. So you can see I'm just checking out the measurements and seeing how well this would work for us. And that laminated roof sheet is actually quite a good option, because it will create the necessary water to just fall off. So I'm just checking it up here against the front to see how much support it will offer, and if I need additional supports. Just screwing this in just to hold it in place so we can see how well that works, and then seeing overall the situation for the shelter. So you can see again, it's just creating a couple of screw holes and then putting a screw through to hold that in place. It's not anything permanent, so it's not being screwed to the floor or anything like that. But yeah, I'm hoping this gives you an idea of how I'm doing this and the reason I'm doing this, as well as the roof being quite a thin roof. You can just slide it on and you'll see here now, it's just created a temporary shade solution. Had a bit of extra wood here, which I'm going to be cutting and just showing as a, if you wanted to create a cover. So if it does ever rain and you want him outdoors, Not that you'd want him in this type of situation, but it's just an option for you to think about. You can see it's easy enough to just create a little bit of a cover and have like a door on the side, so you can just go in and out. If you wanted to go through that section, it's quite good. And you can also go on top or inside. So you'll see here he likes to go on top sometimes, so he's used to sitting on top of the roof. And we can just see if we can get him in. He's just a bit shy at the moment because it's a slightly new structure. And or you can just flip the door to the other side, and that would give him a little bit more space. Again, he likes to go on top, so hopefully this gives you an idea of how this can work for you.